cameras in the back, of McDonald's. So like there are multiple views of this attack.
That would only be acceptable if it was the last packet of ketchup.
Well, maybe it was. They didn't say.
The very last on Earth. The last one. The only time the only time a brawl would be acceptable is if it was the very last ketchup on Earth.
But like my favorite part of this video is that, okay, so there's one person, the manager, who is getting literally choked, right? And then you've got the fast food worker who is at the window, manning the window, and she's trying to save her coworker from dying. She still gives the person at the window their change.
What?
And then rejoins the brawl. Yeah.
So they stop to. That just tells you how much they enforce the point of sale at that fast food restaurant. No matter what's happening here, there could be certain death going on right behind you. You will give correct change. There is no exceptions.
Yeah, she's in the middle of a brawl where someone's getting choked out, and she's like, "Hold on a minute!" She like runs to the window, gives the change to this person. Yeah, it's one of the best videos you might ever see. So go to ABC
good
News
Lord.
and check that out. They still have not identified her yet either. She's on the loose.
The ketchup bandit is on, on the run.
She is. She's on the loose. She didn't get enough ketchup. So that was interesting, I thought. And then there was another one out of Florida.
Yes, Florida.
Yes, she is. She found out the hard way that 911. I didn't know this, by the way. Did you know that they don't arrange Uber rides?
No, I did not. I would have thought that would have been the first place I'd call for an Uber. Would be 911. Right? Hey,
you have the number. It's easy.
It's easy to remember.
Apparently, they don't. Yeah.
Reminds me one time I told someone, call 911. What's the number?
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm dead serious. Yes.
Well, I've seen something similar. Call 911. The person then shouted out, 911!
So this apparently happened in Palm Beach, Florida. Yes, a woman named Emily Powell, 32. She was having difficulty arranging an Uber, right? Mm-hmm. So she calls. I don't know why she was having difficulty, but some people are technologically challenged, right? So
sure.
She's waiting to figure out this Uber thing, and then she flagged down a passing squad car in Boca Raton to help her request an Uber, and the officers were really awesome about it. They, I guess they weren't doing anything else, so they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll help you figure out." They help her.
Sure.
She gets in an Uber, and then she calls 911 again from inside the Uber driver's car to ask for water.
Wow.
Well, it depends on how parked she was. It might have been an emergency.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, she doesn't look like she's inches from death in her mugshot, but...
Hello, 911. This Uber driver insists on running the heat in this car. It's so hot out. I need some water.
I've been in here for 30 seconds. It's terrible.
Oh, my heavens.
It's a real emergency. It's not a fake one like the Uber thing.
I know. Like, it was what was going on there. It was very interesting. So yeah, she's it's a misdemeanor. She could get $1,000.
Oh man, that's a lot. You could buy a lot of water for $1,000.
Right? I know. So that's kind of sad. And I don't know why this strikes me as one of the funniest things I've ever read. And I do actually apologize to the victim for saying that, but it really is I laughed out loud. A man is denied bail after trying to throw his partner overboard.
I mean, trying, so he didn't actually complete the act.
No, he didn't. So you hear about these cruise ship deaths, which are awful, right? Because it's
horrible. I think a Castaway.
Yeah, it's a huge ship. There's no way they would hear it or see it. If you get thrown overboard and it's in the water, like what jurisdiction is it? You never find the body most of the time. So these murders are awful, and it seems like we're hearing about them on a more frequent basis. So there was a 5-night cruise to Tasmania that ended with a man behind bars for allegedly trying to throw his partner off the balcony and into the sea. He just didn't succeed in getting her over the balcony.
Oh, she fought back, did she?
She did, and people heard screaming, and an alarm went off. It was at 3:30 a.m. People heard of it. So people in adjoining rooms, right? They could hear this vicious argument.
Yeah.
And they, and I guess some sort of alarm went off eventually. And so he basically attempted to murder her. He just didn't get her overboard. And I keep thinking to myself, I'm like,
he just sucked at it.
He was horrible.
How do you explain that, right? Like after you're fighting, you try to get him off the balcony, you realize it's not going to happen, or you're like, no, just kidding.
You're getting out of here. Like, go for a walk.
I mean, how uncomfortable was the rest of that cruise? Like, what do they do with you? I don't understand. How does this work?
They lock you in a broom closet and they feed you pancakes and taunt you with making you watch.
Is there like a brig?
Making you watch the Poseidon Adventure over and over and over.
Shelley Winters is.
Yeah, I just saw that actually. My mother was watching it, and I sat down and thought, "Wow, this is oh no, oh really, oh." And then the movie was over. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah. It was not a bad movie. The Gene Hackman version, the original, is much better than the remake. By the way, the remake.
Oh yeah, that was the one we were watching.
Yeah. You got the Gene Hackman one, not the newest remake one with. I even forget the names. I can't remember who was in it. It was that forgettable. I think it was
Shaw.
Yeah, it was. Kurt Russell was in that one. He was in the remake.
Was it?
So yeah, it was Kurt Russell. But anyhow, yeah. And so the guy goes to throw his wife, girlfriend, whoever it was, over the side of the boat, and of course alarms ensue. Probably spotlights come on. And did he try to run away? I mean, where would he run to? I was just kind of curious of where he might run to.
Who's running where? What's going on here?
Exactly. I think that we lost Dr. Cole.
It would appear so. All right. What was the last thing said, and what were you asking about running?
No, I was just curious.
I will answer.
It's not like he had anywhere to run to.
No, he had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
So it would appear that Dr. Cole is not able to join us at the moment, but we'll get her back up and running as soon as we can.
Let's reconvene with her.
Well, we will reconvene. We got a little bit more time to kill. How we go to break, and I'll try to hook that back up. I'll try to get her. Oh, there she is. Thank God. We thought maybe the flames got to you.
No. I wasn't thrown overboard either. I was just going to reveal. God. I was going to reveal the name of the guy.
Oh, because you were like gone. You had us all worried. We thought you were thrown overboard and you had to go. You walk the plank.
No, I was I was looking for the perpetrator. His name was Mr. Fish.
Mr. Fish.
Yeah, swear to God.
So I was just curious, where would you run to if you're the perpetrator on the ship?
I don't know. I think I would just try to convince the person that I was just kidding. You know what I mean?
Just joking. Isn't that a great... Yes, April Fool's late and you fell for it.
I know, right? Whoops. I was just kidding. You could swim, right? You wouldn't have done
that. You're a strong swimmer, you. Don't worry.
And it was such a devastating... April Fool's trick. It wasn't even April 1st.
That's how great it was. It could be used all year long. That's that one. All right, Dr. Cole, where would you like to go after Mr. Fish tried to throw the unwitting victim over the side of the boat? Where would you like to go next?
I found this headline very odd because I didn't know what it was. So I actually clicked on it because I didn't know what it was. Swatter.
Oh, I know what swatting is.
Yeah, you need to. So why don't you explain this?
Swatting is over video games. So if you don't like somebody and you find out where they're from and stuff, and let's just say there's somebody you don't like that you play online games with, you can call the police and actually have a SWAT team. Like say, there's a man with a gun in the house, and the SWAT will show up and kick their door in. And of course, usually it's a prank is what it's meant to be. If somebody you don't like, you have them swatted, right? Well, this one evidently went swatting wrong.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Unreal. So, yeah, there was a guy named Tyler Barris, 26 years old. He pled guilty to 51 federal charges related not just to the Federal 911 hoax, but also to bomb threats against the FCC and FBI headquarters earlier that same month, which resulted in sort of other swattings, I guess, some of which led to building evacuations. I mean, I don't understand.
They better put that guy away for a long.
Yeah.
It's again, it's this whole internet mentality, and I would refer, at least slightly anyway, tangentially, back to the picture, the the Sig Heil picture we were referring to earlier, where it's not real somehow. If you know someone through online means, if you're a gamer, if you're playing games with them, those relationships, the existence of those other people is in some way hypothetical to people, because they couldn't behave the way they do or do the things they do to people if they thought they were genuinely real people.
Yeah.
It's so odd. I mean, I guess I didn't really think about that sort of stuff, before I began my career with, working with law enforcement. But it's like, now I think about something like that, and I see guys getting suited up just to do cell extractions, like a mini sort of SWAT extraction team. And then I've actually helped train SWAT teams out here. And just knowing the guys, and a few of the women that I have helped train doing SWAT, it's really scary for them.
Yeah,
it's scary for them.
Yeah, they don't know what they're walking into.
No, you don't know what you're walking into. And most of the time, if it's a SWAT situation, it might be like hostage, situation where people are very jumpy, very much on edge, very trigger happy. And those guys all want to go home to their families too. Yeah. Wow. So it's a terrifying situation.
And this guy, you said he's 26?
Yeah,
that's
26.
A little old to be doing swatting
I
jokes.
Agree.
I mean,
it was only a few years ago, so he would have been like 23, I guess, maybe when it happened or initially.
Know better. Yeah.
And it's like, how can you not think about that? Like, they are just, I don't know. I don't know how I guess he said that the person that was killed, that he was holding his family hostage. That was the story that he gave them.
They'll get SWAT to show up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so then they killed, of course, the person that was being swatted, right? Yeah. And so it ended up deadly. So it's homicide by cop at that point.
Correct. And so I guess the police responded. One officer shot and killed a man named Mr. Finch because the officer said he didn't comply with the commands to keep his hands up. And it turned out that the address was a fake. And Finch had nothing to do with the online gaming dispute at all.
Wow. Okay. So now the cops killed the guy because he couldn't keep his hands up, that's going to be problematic down the road for him, because then the police opens him up to civil liability, the police.
Yeah, potentially. But in a SWAT situation, you generally think that the person's bad.
That harkens, Yeah, that harkens back to that Arizona where the guy said, put your hands up. He wanted to be a contortionist. And he couldn't do it, so he shot him anyway. Yeah. So anyhow, that's just horrible. That's just horrible news. And I keep looking at the top one that you have here, and my eye just keeps going to it. The religious zealot thing.
Oh man, this is weird. So, religious fanatic jailed for 10 years. This is in Australia, for convincing his wife to end her own life.
So he convinces his wife. Why would he want his wife to die?
He wanted his wife. So Graham Robert Morant, he's 69 years old. He's kind of a self-styled religious pastor. He convinced his 50-something-year-old wife, Jennifer, to take her own life so that he could use her life insurance to build a bunker in preparation for the rapture.
Oh, that old yarn.
Well, that's not convoluted.
No.
I know, I'm so confused.
So
A to B to C to Q to Z.
So this guy, this religious leader, I use that term very loosely. He convinced his wife to end her own life. Now, did he help her, or he just planted the seed in her head? I mean,
said that he did assist her, but it doesn't say exactly how, I don't think, in the article. But mostly it was just conversation. You
should just go ahead and kill yourself. Do it for the greater good. God will reward you when you get up there. Just do it, because we need the money to build a bunker for something that may not happen. But hey, what the heck? Let's get it done anyway.
I mean, man, if I'd been her,
well put.
If I'd been her, I'd be like, okay.